Christians are offended because you wouldn't see anybody doing something with Muhammad in these games, because Christians are easy to Christians are pacifists. All right. So you can mock them and they won't do anything about it. I guess
Well, it's a turn the other cheek thing, maybe.
yeah, turn
Like
the other
maybe
cheek
that's
thing.
just part
Yeah.
of
Hello and welcome to the Brothers Random Show. My name is Travis,
I'm Michael.
and we are two ordinary brothers discussing extraordinary ideas and some random shit. Michael, why are we here?
Today we're discussing the Olympics that took place. Everybody's kind of talking about it, and we're going to throw in our two bits.
I feel honored to be a part of history. I have a lot of incredible trans friends who are athletes, and so we're all inspired. This woman's competing.
Uh-huh. And have you actually ever met Heather Swanson?
No, I've never competed against her before, no.
She's not exactly your average trans athlete.
Well, what is an average trans athlete? Honestly, I find that kind of bigoted, David.
Okay. Heather Swanson is actually joining us now. Miss Swanson, how does it feel to be competing today?
I can't tell you how free I feel now that I've started identifying as a woman. Now that I can compete as female, I'm ready to smash the other girls.
And is it correct you just started identifying as female 2 weeks ago?
I'm not here to talk about my transition.
Yeah. So if you aren't aware, the Olympics are going on. They tend to always go, and they're in Paris, France. They tend to go on, kind of coincide with our election years. So, and it's kind of a mess. So there was an opener. They always do like the opening game ceremony, and supposedly the big thing that's the big thing that everybody's talking about is that there was a transgender cross-dresser parody of the Last Supper. This had Christians all up in arms and everything like that. And
I guess there was a wardrobe malfunction too with one of the male
a supposed wardrobe
it's
malfunction. Yeah, right. So, and there's actually a kid in this scenario. Somebody's 8-year-old kid is sitting with these adult men who are dressed up like women. It was basically showing like the god of I forget the name of the god, but it's like the god of gluttony.
Dionysus.
Dionysus, yeah, they had that, and he's always portrayed as like kind of fat.
I didn't think he was always portrayed with blue skin, but
no,
in
they must
this,
have, that must
he's
have just
portrayed with blue skin.
So
Decided to go that route.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb. It's kind of a dumb controversy. Christians are offended because you wouldn't see anybody doing something with Muhammad in these games, because Christians are easy to Christians are pacifists. All right. So you can mock them and they won't do anything about it. They'll be offended, but they probably won't do much. And that's what I think really gets to the heart of the problem, because it's they I guess
it's a turn the other cheek thing, maybe.
Yeah,
like maybe that's thing. Just part of Jesus said, when someone smites you, and he was very specific. I want to say left cheek with right hand, which means that it was a back of the hand slap, which is a pride thing, rather than if they were actually punching you. It's not necessarily just don't defend thyself, but it's swallow your pride.
Well, Christians have kind of taken it to an extreme, though.
Yeah, and we're pacifists, and a lot of people have said that they've done this to Christianity because Christians are an easy target. It could be a mixture of we're an easy target. We are the builders of the West, right? Mm-hmm. We're and if you are part of this wokeism that wants to tear down everything,
tear down society,
West, then Christianity is the thing to tear down. That's just how it goes.
And France is kind of in a bad place right now. They've got the highest terrorist
attacks.
Attacks in the last several years. They've got that issue. Then they've got the issue of, okay, so supposedly one of the rivers had so much filth in it that they couldn't have some of the swimming. They had to postpone some of the water sports.
Yeah. And people were upset because they were like, oh, the Olympics are coming, we're going to clean this up for the Olympics. And everybody's like, we've been living here and you haven't wanted to clean this up
ever
at all. Screw you.
Yeah.
So now that the Olympics is happening, now you want to clean it up.
Now you want to clean it up. There's there's been a lot of
backlash on that.
There's been a lot of scrutiny on the Olympics for probably going on like 20 years because there's a lot of money that gets put into it. They basically put a lot of money into an infrastructure to handle the influx of people, and then it's like a ghost town after they leave. Mm-hmm. You know, like Brazil had this issue a few years ago because there's massive amounts of poverty and the locals are basically being steamrolled over, and then they don't have any money. You know, they're making.
Well, I'm sure it brings a lot into the economy.
Yes.
I'm sure that a lot of money comes into the economy.
Yeah.
But it should be one of those things. It's like, you know, but does this benefit the people who live here?
The people who live here.
Are we doing this at the expense of the people that live here?
Yeah. That's really the question when it comes to and I mean, their ratings are higher this year than they were for Tokyo, because hardly anybody watched the Tokyo one. And then, and
I'm surprised. Like, I don't know why are the ratings higher this year? It just seems odd that
I think it was because of that opener. You know, it was so controversial. Everybody
it's so controversial.
Like, oh, I gotta check out the Olympics.
Hey, you know what? Maybe that's what you want to go
maybe
for.
That's
if you want.
That's what the guy who made that supposedly identifies as a gay man, and that would explain why he wanted to do that, because it's kind of, you know, his religion.
Yeah.
The question is like, why do you need to take your beliefs and tear down the beliefs of other people? It's a very weird.
And I've seen in interviews since, but like they said that they were using the Last Supper as kind of the inspiration for it, but that they were keeping it a Greek theme, which would be Dionysus. But,
it's self-indulgent is that's what it comes down to.
Now let's be honest, Olympia, like, it's Greek. It's always been a Greek thing. It comes from place as well as the history. Like, it all kind of comes from there. That being said, like, why do you need to tear down this? Now, I think that they are completely within their rights to do this. Like, I'm a free speech absolutist, and under the law, but like, you can do this.
But at the same time, we should probably, if we're going to make fun of this, how about we make fun of some other stuff too? How about the Muslim religion? They're not going to do that.
All the Christians stop eyeballs and stop money. Like, boycott it. Which I think is happening. My understanding is that the Olympics are
the ratings are probably they probably had a spike after this, and then now it's probably going back down.
That's my opinion. Vote with your dollar, vote with your eyes, and
stop supporting it.
Cut it off, right? Like, I just think that's the way you handle this, is punish bad behavior.
Yeah. If you guys are serious about it, but at the same time, like, would you consider that kind of a cancel culture kind of thing? We're saying that we're free speech absolutists. They should have the right to do that, but we should also have the right to go, this isn't for me. Cancel
culture is is where cancel culture goes wrong mostly, I think, is just where people start demanding that person can't perform anymore, or that person can't be in charge anymore. Like people start to say, you can't, right? Rather than you can, but we're not going to attend, or we're not going to watch. The boycott is strong, and we're walking away from that. We're not going to do it. We're not going to support that in any way. I think where cancel culture goes wrong is when it's forced, where it's enforced, right?
Mhm.
Kicked off. Well, that person should be kicked off, or that person should be shut down, silenced, all those kinds of things. That's where I think that goes wrong. But if the people want to speak and say, nope, we're not doing this, I think that's fine. I think that kind of cancellation is fine with me. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. I'm just it was kind of grotesque. I mean, to tell you the truth, nobody's watching.
Even if it's not making fun of, if it really, I mean, if you take out the Last Supper shot, I mean, it was pretty just nasty altogether in general.
So. Well, and I mean, the fact that their river is so polluted that they can't do water games in it, it's like, that's grotesque too. I mean, it's like a aging culture and it's just kind of getting gross and more gross. So so some people are going to look at that and go, oh, you queen, you slay queen, but there's supposedly this malfunction of this guy's basically testicles hanging out of his pants with a child really close to him. And it's like, you guys spent a lot of money on this, in the millions, and you didn't look at this and go, maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe having a child there is the wrong idea. Maybe having men dressed as women and with body parts hanging out of their clothes is a bad idea. You know, nothing gets past. It's such a big and overproduced thing right now that nothing gets past eyeballs. So there's a little bit of intention in that. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that it wasn't a malfunction. It was intentional. We want to show you the grotesque and try to convince you that it's not.
And it's grotesque. Part of the gaslighting. Part of the it's
gross.
It is kind of dumb. Like, they're sitting there, oh well, we didn't mean to do these things. We didn't mean to.
It's art. This is so great, and it's art. Here's another thing. So a few years ago, this is like 5 or 6 years ago, the Balenciaga incident. There was an ad campaign that had children in compromise. Let's say they were heavily sexual compromised, and they were children. They were really young, and it was an ad campaign. And many people were disgusted by it, and it was kind of a big deal. Balenciaga's this high-end, I guess they make handbags or shoes or something. It's nothing I'm ever gonna deal with, but it was grotesque. And they were like, well, this was supposed to be artistic, and you know, when we start. So we do not want to get to the point in our society where we're censoring everything. But then we got to draw the line somewhere. And maybe with children and for children and all that kind of stuff, maybe that line needs to be drawn there. Maybe we don't need to delve into the grotesque when it comes to children. Maybe we don't need to do that.
Well, I mean, and we're seeing this happen. We've talked about moving away from a meritocracy, but like there's been other Olympic openings where the ballet performed, right? Where skaters performed.
Mm-hmm.
And these people train and they train and they train and they work hard and they go over it again and again and they go over it 1,000 times to make sure it is perfect. And now we've got people up there like shaking their booty. Like, come on, guys. Like, we could do better. Like, the upholding of the degenerate is, we need to put that in the past.
It needs to be one of those things that goes the way of like lobotomies and stuff like that. It just needs to go.
Yeah. Right.
So one of the other things before we call it good on this subject, there is a huge controversy over the female boxing category. From my basic understanding, there was a female boxer who went up against another female boxer that is intersex, not transgender, but intersex. And everybody thought she was
transgender.
She was transgender. And supposedly there's kind of this backlash.
She was a hermaphrodite. She was born a hermaphrodite.
I believe with an extra, some extra chromosomes. Something like that.
Something like that. Okay.
Now, whether or not that is true or not, the fact that we are having the discussion about this.
Well, and everybody lost their mind.
And everybody lost their mind.
They thought it was transgender.
Was a transgender, but she was basically getting her ass handed to her. Unfortunately, the girl, the other one, the one that we can say for definitively was a girl. And this is going to be an issue going forward because the Olympics has not taken a stance. They have said they are welcome. Yeah. And that is going to be an issue forever until they say, no, we can have a separate category for them, for a transgender. We can do that, but we're not allowing men to fight women. And this should be across the board forever.
Well,
this is a decay of a society. Douglas Murray, who we talk a lot about, claims that Rome and Greece, basically two empires that fell apart eventually in 300 years, they started becoming corrupt when they started becoming obsessed with gender and the blurred lines in gender. And our society is doing the exact same thing. We're seeing the decay of a society, and he tends to think that it is in this slow, because it took a couple hundred years for Rome to go from the pinnacle to non-existent.
Yeah.
And we're kind of seeing that just keep going. And he said that it started happening when everybody was obsessed with gender. And that's the thing, is like if people weren't cowards and they would just stand up, the Olympic Commission was just like, nah, we're not going to do this. Then there wouldn't be this controversy. But I kind of think they like this controversy because it brings more eyeballs to it.
Possibly. Yeah. But this might be the new norm. It's like, is she a woman? Is he a man?
We don't know.
We don't know. Because I really think that is going to become like more and more normal, of just like, well, we're not really sure. And there's no real way for us to know. Sorry.
Because that's kind of what's happening with this athlete.
Yeah.
So
and I feel bad for the athlete if
both
it's like,
athletes.
Did you see that clip of the guy, and he went to a protest and he just went up to women and he was just like, I'm so supportive of your transition. We are so grateful that and the woman was just like, no, I'm a woman. Like, and he's like, oh yeah, of course you are a woman, but we're so proud of your transition. Right. And and she's just like all trying to defend herself. And it's like, ha, got you moment.
Yeah.
You don't want to be called
a trans woman.
Yeah. Which means there's another category and you don't want to be part of it.
It's so weird and bizarre and wrong. And the Olympics has kind of accepted it wholeheartedly. And personally, like you said, we should be speaking with our eyeballs and dollars because they get a lot of money for the eyeballs. Don't watch it. Just stop watching it, guys. Let them know that this isn't okay.
Mm-hmm.
Until you decide to take Muhammad out there and poke fun at that, which he'll never do. Which he'll never do because there's a huge Islamic population in France right now. And that would start burning down cities. They
go to the streets and start killing people. Like,
and burning down
and
streets.
I'm not saying Christians should do that. I don't want that.
Yeah, you don't.
And I don't think it's good that Muslims do that.
But there's a reason that they didn't make fun of him, and they did make fun of Christ.
But it's like free speech upheld in the West by Judeo-Christian values now is like starting to eat its own. It's like, come on, guys.
It's the decay of a society. It's really what it's about. I just hope that I'm dead before it really it goes into, maximum overdrive because I don't want to see it happen.
Well, we got kids.
Yeah.
So
it can be their
sucks
problem.
for them.
Audience, check us out on social media, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Just look for The Sword in the Skull. If you're listening to this and not watching it, please go to YouTube and like, share, and subscribe. It helps us with our algorithms. In the meantime, keep reading, keep listening, keep watching, learn more. We'll see you, brother.
See ya.
As a woman, now that I can compete as female, I'm ready to smash the other girls.
And is it correct you just started identifying as female 2 weeks ago?
I'm not here to talk about my transition. I'm here to kick some fucking ass. Let me tell you something, Dingleberry.
David Perry.
I'm gonna roll up the other women here, and I'm gonna smoke them. I am the strongest woman this state has ever seen.
Any words for the challenger, Miss Woman?
Good luck, Heather.
Luck is for dudes.